At Value Village, I spotted this thrifted beauty with my sister-in-law, and immediately she envisioned Bride of Frankenstein. Watch us bring Frankie to life in today's video. The first step is planning the canvas. I use Canva to prototype my painting. For the composition part, I love integrating AI into my process. I turned to the fabulous Grok AI, which is an incredible image generator, and it brilliantly brings my prompts to life. Then I struggled a bit to enlarge my design on my laptop, but then I discovered the tile printing feature on the free version of Adobe Acrobat. It basically allows me to print my design on multiple pages and then stitch them together with tape. So the next step is we're going to add some paint onto the canvas. So I'm going to show you how to glaze. So to glaze, I like to grab my biggest brush here because I want the strokes to be going on really kind of nice and fluid. And we want a lot of water. So I'm gonna add quite a bit of water into my purple paint, and I wanna like really thin it down. It's going to be like flowing down like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're just going to paint right over top of it. And you can see that the paint color, the purple, is really beautiful, but I'm not covering all the design below. You can still see those flowers, even though we've painted over top of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint the entire wallpaper from the top right to where it meets the floor with this glazing method. So I finished glazing my background, and I quickly wanted to mention that I did 2 layers of glazing just to give more of a pop of color. And also what I did was I wanted to give it a little bit of a vignette, spooky kind of look. So I let it dry, and then I took my finger and some purple paint right on my finger, and I ran it across all the edges of my canvas just to make it look a little bit darker on the edges and lighter in the middle. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer the stencil over to our canvas. And to do that, I'm using some black carbon paper. All right, so I'm done doing my stencil, so I'm gonna lift it up now. So I'm gonna start on her skin. So for her skin, I'm gonna choose a really light pale blue. So I have a little bit of light blue, black, and white. So once you have your paint that you're happy with, you're just gonna go ahead and fill in her skin. And I'm also going to be keeping a couple of brushes on hand. So this one's a smaller detailing brush, while this one is slightly bigger. And I'm going to switch over to the smaller one when I need to get a little bit more dexterity with around her face, her nose, and all those places that are kind of hard to get with the bigger brush. All right, now what I'm gonna work on is the black parts of her, which is gonna be her hair and her bathing suit. And I'm also using my medium round brush here, but I'm going to switch up to my detailing brush as well when I need to get a little bit more dexterity. Now, while her hair dries, I'm gonna move over to the details of her face. And because they're really detailed, I'm gonna be using my Posca paint markers here. But if you don't have Posca paint markers or any paint markers, just use your smallest detailing brush and some thinned down black paint. All right, now her hair is dry, so I'm gonna take some white paint and my medium round brush, and I'm gonna fill in her lightning bolt design right in the middle of her hair. Oops. And I'm gonna keep my trusty Q-tip handy because I don't wanna go over that bow. So I added a dark gray color to the ground below the bathtub. And now for the bathtub, it's a little bit bright and we want to age it a bit. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create a wash. So I have a bit of black on my palette and I'm going to water it down like I did for the purple. So it's nice and fluid with some water. And I'm going to be careful here because I don't want to get that black wash on her arm. And it's going on really dark. So what I'm going to also do here is I'm going to keep a paper towel handy and I'm going to blot it so that it's not too dark, because black is a really dark color and it's quite saturating, and I still want those flowers and that design below to still show through. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my gold Posca marker and I'm gonna embellish that chandelier at the top and also bring some of that gold accents into our bathtub. And I also went ahead and embellished the flowers a little bit more with some black paint marker. Thank you guys so much for watching and hope you enjoyed bringing Frankie to life. And a big shout out to my sister-in-law for inspiring this video. Until next time, lots of peace, love, and color your way.